Ugh. Yo, it's your boy, Seafoam Soldier, back again to do another stream with everyone. So I feel like let's introduce everyone one by one. I think we're all in the same order, right? So let's just do that. So if you unmute yourselves one by one and just say hi and anything you want to say, then do that. So Chris, if you start.
Hi. Hey everyone, I don't have anything to say. Oh, there's like some like stuff going on in my ear. I'm just gonna mute myself again. Hey everyone.
Go on, Suter.
Hi.
Great. It's Nina and Quarantina / Floppy Bob. Hello.
And it's me, Horatio. Hi.
Well, that was seamless. Well done, everyone. So, as always, I've just written notes as I went. So we'll just go through that. Oh, thanks for joining, Kurt, by the way. It is a bit early today. But cheers for joining. Let us know your thoughts as you go. So, yeah, I've made notes and I thought we'd just go through them. And then, I guess I just say, put your hands up if you want to add anything to the notes or, if it's something I missed you want to talk about. Because I don't have, a ton of notes for the beginning. I don't think there's really much to say. So first I've got, the mini challenge. So I guess if we just all give our thoughts on that. So yeah, who wants to give their thoughts on the mini challenge first? Put your hand up if you're keen. There's not really a ton to say, right? We could just skip it. Go on, Horatio.
Yeah, it was just a bit underwhelming, and there's not been a reading challenge the whole season, which is a bit sad. We were sort of foreseeing that, and I don't know. It was just, I mean, the pit crew made an appearance. They haven't made many appearances this season. That was okay. I think Sudekim was one of them, but I'm not entirely sure. But it was just boring. Why did Gigi win that? She wasn't particularly good. I mean, neither of them were very good. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the one thing is, I said it all season, but their quick drag is impressive. A lot of them looks great. But obviously, I mean, typical drag race, but the main agenda was pushing the Vegas show, right? So that's why we had that mini challenge, and it was fine. It was relatively entertaining. Again, I don't think there's been any mini challenges this season that are going to go down in history for sure. But it was it served its purpose as a mini challenge, in my opinion. You know, it's fine. It got me through 5 minutes of my life. Go on, Bob.
I was just going to say, I think as much as I wasn't in love with this mini challenge, thinking about this episode without it, actually it would have just been a lot more padding for that final show. And actually, I'm kind of glad that was cut down and we got something else. Maybe I'm just being really cynical because I'm incredibly tired, but I don't know. It just, I don't think, for me, I mean, Kurt said it in the comments, for me, the final show wasn't particularly exciting, so I'm kind of glad that there was something else in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Kurt's saying apparently there was a reading challenge, but they had to cut it because Sherry won, which is super interesting. I mean, that'd be pretty extreme editing. I mean, they would have had to record an extra mini challenge, or I suppose extended an episode, maxi challenge for another episode, and cut out that mini challenge.
When was it originally?
What, a reading challenge? That's something that we don't know. I also I'm interested to know if that's known for sure or whether it's speculation. I don't know. It seems weird. Because I mean, Sherry has won plenty of things, so it'd be weird if they cut that just that one thing specifically. Yeah, go on, Chris.
I thought they did the reading challenge, but it was a different format this year because they had that kind of semi-reading challenge when they teamed up the queens and they had to push that merchandise. I can't even remember what it was. Shows you how effective that reading challenge was. But they were cutting into each other quite a lot, and I thought that was meant to be this year's reading challenge, and that it was just generally lackluster. But if not, then I have no idea where the reading challenge went.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of saying in previous streams. We were thinking that was the main mini challenge. Also, we have the puppet challenge, which is basically a reading challenge as well. I know. I feel to be fair, I mean, obviously, I think we would have liked a reading challenge, a proper one, but at the same time, neither of those were phenomenal anyway. And if they were hilarious queens, what Katya or some of the greats from or Trixie or whatever in terms of reading, then fine, I'd want more. But do you know what I mean? I feel we've got the general idea of how they'd perform in a reading challenge anyway, so I'm fine missing out on it. To be fair, go on, Horatio.
I don't know where I've read, or maybe it was in our group or something. Someone said that it was scheduled to be done in the finale. I don't know if there's any truth to that. it would have been just 4 people. So I don't know. It would still not be the same.
I mean, they could have done it with the full cast, I guess. But I agree. Like, I don't think a live one would have been that great as well. To be fair. But anyone else have anything they want to add about the mini challenge? Yeah, go on, Siwa. Siwa, then Chris.
Yeah, I didn't understand why Gigi won it, but then again, I didn't even get the challenge. They literally just put Cabaret on. You know, it was like any of them could have won, any of them could have lost. It was a bit like the main challenge. They were all really good, and it was just whoever wanted to win.
I take issue with their like distribution of outfits, like Sherry Pie having like a mismatch of like colors and stuff like that was driving me insane. I was like, why couldn't you all just like you all have to like grab stuff off the rack? Like why? Like there's only like a few queens left. Like why did it look that bad? Like there's no excuse. I would have just sent them all home then and there. I would just be like, that's it. You're out of here. Like there's no excuse at this stage in the competition. No, you can all go home.
Well, she's harsh.
I like it based on a mini challenge.
Chris,
Yes, Judge Simon Cowell.
So should we move on from the mini challenge then? I feel like like we'll have like similar thoughts on it. So right, okay. So my next note is, and it's kind of brought up anyway during after just literally straight after I've written it. But so haven't we seen this challenge this season before? Probably a few times, right? It's been like we had the rap challenge at the beginning. We had like the dancing challenge with Jamal. Like I feel like if you look at like the formula of Drag Race, I think it's like how much has changed since previous seasons. Like this is really the focus, isn't it? These type of challenges is the focus. And they are fun challenges, but they didn't feel that fresh, did it? Like I think maybe part of the reason Kurt, Bob, and I don't know how you other guys feel, but they're a bit like bored or like weren't loving the episode is maybe because it is a bit played out, you know? Like if we had like one a season or maybe one every couple of seasons or something, or like variation every other season or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it'd be more exciting. But I feel like we have kind of seen. I mean, I guess we know how the Queens are going to do as well because we've seen them like in a Jamal-based dancing challenge. We've seen them in a rap challenge. You know, like it's not like what's going to happen? Who's going to completely flop? You know, I wasn't really getting that kind of vibe from it. Yeah, go on, Sue and Bob.
Yeah, like the formula for this season's really just gone favoritism for Gigi, favoritism for Crystal, everyone else just do whatever you're going to do, the odd bit of favoritism for Jada. But actually, Jada's probably the only person that earned everything she's had, whether it was good or bad, where everyone else is just, I don't understand what Rue's thinking. Like, Crystal should have won the different episode than the one she won, or, you know, it was just this whole season's been whack. I think it's unfortunate because I thought this was a really good cast this season, but the actual formula of the show is what's getting old. Yeah, similar to what you said.
Yeah, and I sort of feel like it's quite weird as well to have like essentially three create your own song kind of challenges, because you know the first one was sort of split over 2 episodes essentially, you know, the I'm That Bitch rap and the You Don't Know Me song, and then to kind of try and create, I don't know, like I can see that there's an attempt to create a narrative arc of like they started here of being like I'm that bitch and here's them at the end, but it kind of felt like the wrong sequencing, because like the bit at the end was really like look, this is us like as children, and now like we've kind of come to be in this position, and then like I don't know, it just felt really mismatched to me, and I just kind of couldn't really get into it. I was like, okay, this is happening. It just felt like sort of Platitude City like for most of this challenge, and I was just really struggling to like really engage with any of the lyrics, because it's kind of like I'm that bitch and I was like a child, and then I didn't feel like I fit in, and then I did this and now I fit in and like found my tribe. I'm like, it kind of like that's an important message, but it felt like that got really watered down by the fact that we essentially heard 5 queens doing it over 3 different bits of a song in the same episode that took like about 40 minutes or something. Like it was, I don't know, but in fairness, please take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt, because I am like incredibly exhausted today. So it may be that I'm just being like just like done with everything, but I don't know, for me this music challenge just felt like such a flat ending to this season.
Yeah, I noticed you checked your nips halfway through as well, so you really weren't invested. Sorry, only Chris is going to get that reference. So no, I don't disagree. I do think part of it is because we have seen these types of challenges multiple times through the season before. But also, I was just thinking, like, I do want a musical with an inner saboteur, and I feel like Sherry would be the perfect inner saboteur in a musical, right? Like creeping along the stage, chasing them down, and that. Because that's kind of, I guess that was kind of the vibe of the raps, wasn't it? Like, you know, talking about, and the whole musical generally, I guess. But like, well, it is like a drag race inspired musical. But you're right with the raps; they all had like similar sorts of themes, right? I think the people who do something different stand out more. But wait, are we jumping ahead, or is this where we're at? Go on, Horatio.
Um, uh, for me, the problem with this kind of episode is the fact that is the one that we can sort of gauge the least who's doing better and who's doing worse, because it's also so heavily edited. They make you think, oh, she's not doing well with her verse, or she's not doing well with choreography. But then they all turn out to be really good at the choreography, and the verses are all really good. So it's the one where you cannot really see anyone bomb or anyone do really well on top of each other. So it just feels, I mean, even the first one, the first episode of this season, I just can't really engage with the material in itself. So, you know, snatch game or improv challenges, you can sort of take part in the episode a bit more individually, but because they do all of the work for you in this sort of heavy editing, it's really hard to get it so invested. But also, as it turned out to be really down to the track record that they all had at the end of the episode, is a bit pointless anyway, because I mean, if you're not going to allow any of them to do really badly and therefore be the clear bottom, or do really well and therefore be the clear winner, I don't think any of them were clear winners or clear bottoms. Then is if it's all down to track record, well, we know the track record, and so we know who the bottom two are going to be, and probably also who's going to go home. So that's why it's hard to engage with this episode. I mean, I never look forward to this stage of the competition.
Yeah, I agree. I think as well. I think because, like you said, the heavy editing, like we don't know. Like Bob and I were chatting about it, we all were, right? Like did they actually record the vocals? Like it took us like half a song to realize that they did. You know, so they didn't show any of that whatsoever. They focused on like a tiny bit of it. And so I think that's part of it as well. We haven't really seen like the struggles in terms of getting to the end product as well the whole way through. But you're right. I think the most important thing for them for these types of challenges, these musical type challenges, is or music video challenges, is that the final product is very polished, no matter what. So obviously, if they have like all night to rehearse and do whatever, I'm guessing they probably have like extra like rehearsal time with Jamal beforehand, or like other people. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all just like a team of people getting them to where they need to be. Sure, they're talented, and you know the end result is impressive. But I agree. I think compared to most of the other challenges, it's hardest in this challenge to actually gauge the talent of them. Like if they said like, you know, you've got 4 hours even like to learn this the choreo for the set or whatever, and they showed like clips of that. I mean, I mean, if they put like stipulations there that the audience are aware of and the queens know for sure, then there would be more of a variation, right? Like people who are more naturally talented at dance and choreography would do better, and the ones who weren't would do weaker. But like you said, because there's no time limit, like they can all just get to the same level, you know? And so people who are naturally better don't really get to show that in these kind of challenges. I know, that's my take. Yeah, go on, Chris.
I think there's an issue with the fact that this has to be like a product that they sell. Like this is going to be something that the queens can't really be bad at, because otherwise it like won't sell as well. You know, I think with RuPaul's Drag Race UK and God, what was it? The Frock Destroyers, like in the popularity of that, I think that's probably led the way for RuPaul to have that, like the cogs are turning. It's like, okay, right, at the end of the season, we have to like get that single out and like make loads of money and, you know, have it play at all the clubs. Like, I mean, it happens regardless, but I think more than ever, the focus is on that last challenge being something that they can make money from and like sell, you know?
No, I agree completely. It does seem weird they place this like really, really probably the heaviest like product placement episode at the very end, you know, because it does take away from again the focus, which should be the queens and the talent, in my opinion. Does anyone else have anything they want to say about this particular point? Yeah, go on, Siwa.
I found it strange that normally no one wins this episode, yet Gigi won it, just to give her an extra bloody win that she didn't deserve again.
Yeah, go on, Bob.
So I was going to say on that note, I wonder, like narrative-wise, it would have probably made more sense to give it to someone like Sherry to have 3 people each with 3 wins, not because of how she did in this episode, but like it's interesting in terms of narrative to have someone going into the finale with 4 wins. And obviously that didn't necessarily work out for Shay, but like, you know, you would have thought that would make them the clear front runner. I don't know. It's quite weird. Yeah, I agree. Like sometimes they seem to give people the win for this episode, and sometimes they don't. And yeah, I don't know. It all kind of struck me as quite weird. It just felt very much like Gigi getting the prize for already being top of the pack. A little bit.
Sorry, like it's this thing. I said it a few times before, especially this season. Like, I'm not disagreeing with Suter in terms of like Gigi not necessarily deserving to win, but at the same time, I don't think there was like a clear difference between them. They all performed very well, right? Like as we were saying, it's not like there was a clear winner. I think it's kind of like apples and oranges. Is that the saying in terms of like who could have won it? So I don't know. I'm not really bothered. Like it could have been anyone. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that to me, even I think Sherry had a bit of an edge just because she feels more at ease on the stage, and I mean, I don't know about the vocals. I don't think they were particularly better, but she had a very strong sense of rhythm and a very strong presence, more so than Gigi. I don't know. Maybe her runway let her down a little bit just because it was so. One thing, whereas Gigi sort of encompassed fashion and humor, and it was a bit more polished in my eyes. I don't know, but yeah, to me, kind of Sherry had an edge rather than Gigi. But yeah, I agree that Gigi wasn't miles ahead of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, not to be personal, I don't think Sherry had the edge for me. I think she was more emotive than some of the other queens, but like her looks weren't as strong as was mentioned on the runway. Not just her final look, I mean her looks during the challenge, and that's the thing. I don't know. I still think generally it's much of a muchness, in my opinion. Yeah, go on, Bob.
Sorry, it's not to do with the episode. I was just really admiring like Chris's blanket couture, which for like a split second it was like, is he wearing a blanket or a fur coat? Like, what? Where is he going? There was like a split moment where like
extravaganza.
Actually, that reminds me. It's just, I'm bringing it back to the episode because that's why I'm the best host. Jamal's outfit he wore on the runway, I love that, like KP thing or whatever when it was introduced. I thought that was like one of the coolest dude outfits we've had on the show. Go on.
Could Jamal win the challenge? Like, can we just give the win to him?
Yes. He's so likable. He's very good at what he does. Well done, Jamal. We're all very proud of you. So sorry, going back a little bit. So I've written some notes like during the workroom and pre-challenge stuff. If anyone's interested, Paul might will read them out. So I thought like Gigi's like advice to Crystal was kind of harsh. He's like, don't focus on the beat of the song, which is like it's a rap song, yo. Like just ignore the beat and just like sing about like birds or something. I don't know. Like that's literally the worst possible advice. Go on, Ratio.
I think what she meant was just put in what you want to put in words wise. They'll make it work. The music people will make it work. Don't worry so much about the music. Just say what you want to say, and they'll work around it. I think that was her advice, really.
But even then, I don't know. Like it's a rap challenge. Like you've got to like take into consideration to an extent. You can't just throw it out the window. And again, like I suppose that's sort of what I thought. But at the same time, they could have done her dirty. Like if they obviously heavily reworked all their vocals to make them as good as possible. But they might not have done that. Like if I didn't want to give her a favorable edit for whatever reason, if she wasn't as good as she could have been, they could have like twisted it to make it worse, a lot easier if she hadn't had like a good flow or whatever herself. I don't know. I just thought it was funny advice. Okay, so the next thing I've written is, oh yeah, Crystal wasn't doing great. That wasn't fun. Oh yeah, it's the thing I mentioned. Like every time these like singing, rapping challenges happen, like when they show them recording it, they literally play a random song with a totally different beat to the one they're rapping to. So they all look shit, apart from the one they want you to think is look like they're doing well. But it's just pointless, right? It's just, I don't know. It's kind of harsh. If I watch that back, I'll be really pissed off. And Horatio,
singer and dancer.
Yeah, that was Crystal. Horatio said when we were watching it, I thought that was a good point. Has Todrick been Santino'd? I thought that was a good point. Do you want to talk about that, Horatio?
No, because I don't really know whether he has been Santino'd. I hope he has, because if everything that people say, Manila and all these people say is true, I mean, you don't want to be associated with that man if that's how he treats his employers. his employees. So yeah, I hope he has. I was, like you said earlier, Grant, I was never very keen on it. I don't know why. I just never really enjoyed having him there. So yeah, I hope he has been. I don't miss him really.
I thought it was an interesting point. But in terms of, I think I might have mentioned before, but in terms of like the not paying his dance and stuff, he did do like a video where he explained his point of view, and I think it is like a bit grey. But just personally, I've never really warmed to him on the show. So yeah, like Jamal's like so nice. I think I'm warmed to Jamal immediately. I think he's a great dude. I really like him. I think he's far more fun to watch. But I thought it was interesting because yeah, like Todrick was featured so heavily and was a judge for like a season or two as well, right? And like he's just like not been included in any form in this season. So it does seem strange for sure. I wonder if it is. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, Chris for sure, but one sec. Sorry, I just had a thought, which is like I wonder if people like Drag Race isn't loyal to like the Queens, they don't give a shit about the Queens post show, right? But then obviously like the drama with Todrick and not paying people like has involved a lot of Queens. A lot of Queens have spoken up about it. So I wonder if they are for once actually like listening to the Queens and siding with the Queens over Todrick. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but go on, Chris.
I was just going to say, I always found Todrick to like favour some queens over others. He was always really abrasive with some of them, and it wasn't just like, "Oh, you will fail this challenge." It was like, "You will fail, and you're a piece of shit." And then the other queens, it was like, "You're amazing, even though you've done the minimal effort. Like, I think you're great. You're going to win this challenge." Like, I just never understood where he was coming from. So I'm with you guys. I was never really that keen. So if he doesn't come back, oh well.
Go on, Horatio first, then Suga.
Okay, fine. Right, I think so. Going back to the point Grant made of, is it because maybe he's had problems with other queens? I think is a more of a Sherry Pie situation. I mean, I don't think RuPaul wants to be associated. If I mean, I think it's fairly sort of believable where because he's been putting excuses up as to why he's been doing that. It still boils down to not being professional. I mean, forget about the debatable. It's a gray area. It really isn't. I mean, as a musician, I will tell you that people will always try to take advantage of your skills and pay you in exposure. There's no such a thing as paying in exposure. If you want the work of some professionals with the skills, you just have to pay for it. And so I don't think that's debatable. So in a way, I think that RuPaul doesn't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. So I think it's more of a Sherry Pie situation. And yeah, I hope we don't see him again. And I don't think it has nothing to do with the fact that it's been Manila in it. I think the man is just not professional enough.
Yeah. To apply to Chris, the biggest example of Todrick doing that was when Cameron Michaels had no idea what he was doing in the challenge, and he was like, you could just see Todrick was like, "I want to sleep with you, Cameron." That was basically all he was really saying when he was praising. But what I think's happening with Todrick is similar to Horatio, is he's just out. His welcome's off the. I'm trying to think of the term. He's outstayed his welcome on the show. Because at first, I think Rue liked him because he was becoming this big, huge thing on Broadway and that. So he was promoting the show, where he's hurting the show more now. So Rue's just like not having it. And I think what the last straw might have been was he also was in controversy about treating black dancers differently to white dancers, where in the music videos where he was like making them come to the front and, very much favorite. And, when you're a black gay singer, that's not a good look for anyone when you're associated with the biggest LGBT show in possibly history.
Yeah, so as I say, I agree with what you guys said in regards to like the reason why he's probably not on the show. I think that is probably the main reason. But like I shall say it again, like I don't particularly like him. So, but I'm just saying like, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, I'm a game developer struggling at the moment financially, but I still make sure I pay people what they're comfortable with because it just has to be done. People have to be paid for their skills. I agree completely, but at the same time, you don't know what the agreement was. Like here, the agreement was, would you like to be part of this video for exposure? I really can't pay you right now. And the person said, yes, I'll do that. Then, that is a different situation. And that's kind of what he's saying. And the other person, I'm simplifying it a little bit. My point is like, I don't think it's like the best way to be, especially if he does have some money and exposure and stuff. He should definitely endeavor to pay people. I completely agree with that. It's like a dick move regardless. But I'm just like, I don't know. My point is that we just don't know what happened behind the scenes. So I feel like we can't really judge him as harshly necessarily. That's all I'm saying. Again, I don't particularly like the guy, but I'm just saying, like, as he's not necessarily Satan, we just don't know. I guess that's kind of my point. But sorry, does anyone have anything they want to say about Todrick? Any other Todrick tea for the stream? Okay, cool. Yeah, go on, Sue. Go on.
He's still cute though.
My next note is okay. So this would be a note that Bob's gonna like. For Horatio, right? You guys are both Jackie fans. Like I felt like Jackie was like. I mean, I felt like this is Jackie's episode. Really, like she had loads of talking head time. I felt like, despite the fact she's told to be more confident a few times, I felt like she was actually really confident throughout the whole episode, and was like, "This is the episode I liked her the most." Like I've never been particularly bothered by her, but I actually really enjoyed her this episode. So yeah, I thought that was quite cool. Like especially the episode she went home on. I thought she came across really well, and like I said, I think she's really confident and stuff. So yeah, we've talked about next note's about the vocals. We've talked about it already. So on to, is it main challenge and runway? It is, isn't it? It was, wasn't it? Main challenge. Okay, so instead of going through the queens one by one, because like we've sort of given our thoughts on the challenge already. If there's anyone, I think we should go through like the specifics of the performances, but only like if you guys want to say something. We don't just go through every queen one by one necessarily. So we can't talk about the main challenge in more general terms. But yeah, if there's anything more specific you want to say about the individual queens' performances, let's do it now. Yeah, go on, Nina.
It's kind of partly the thing in general, but also partly individual performances. But like, because I know Rue at the beginning said that there were going to be these 3 parts, ending in kind of disco and whatever. I think it kind of confused me because we had all this this bit at the beginning with them all kind of doing their stories. I don't know, unless I missed this in the episode itself. Did they talk about their background and why they were gonna like using that for basically? I'm trying to work out like that first song, was that their lyrics or was that like ones that had been pre-written? Because it seemed to be like little stories, like Gigi talking about seeing herself in the mirror at a club for the first time and feeling beautiful, and Jackie I think trying on her mother's clothes. But I wasn't sure, like, were those lifted from personal stories or were they kind of lyrics that were kind of put upon them? Because I don't think we saw that, unless I may have just completely missed it because I've missed most things today. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure from what I said, it's just taken lifted straight from the musical. But I agree why it's confusing, because they didn't show them recording it or talking about it in any way. It just came out of nowhere. So I get why you're confused, but I'm 98% sure they're just from the musical, but then re-recorded with their vocals. Rex Check was saying before that he does think it's Todrick. It is a payment thing that's the issue, as we were saying. And Kurt's trying to find the name of the song, but I don't know what it is. And he also says that he likes the new photo. Thanks, that's from Japan. But he misses the old photo. If you want more of that, get my visual novel, Always the Same Blue Sky on Steam. And Kurt's saying he loved how there were entrance looks kind of look like the entrance looks matter this season. Oh yeah. So yeah, I guess it's kind of right? Like the entrance looks don't really count for shit, but it was cool they kind of brought them back and made more of a big deal about them. I was kind of wondering whether they'd be like improved in any way, like, even like makeup wise, but they all look pretty much the same to me. I don't know. So I feel like see the evolution a little bit. But go on, Bob, then Suter.
Sorry, I'm really hogging this, but I just like a quick thing on the, like, I think it says something about like Sherry often choosing like a similar outline, because I saw Sherry's outfit. I was like, oh, we've seen this before, Sherry. And then I was like, oh no, everyone's in their entrance looks. Like, I felt kind of bad, and I was like, that's more
You're
on
really
me
all over the place today, aren't you, Bob?
So you're muted. You're still muted.
What I still think's hurt in this finale episode is that there's 5 queens instead of 4 to get to a top 3. Because before there was still a point for a few seasons. You're like, oh, is it going to be a top 4 or top 3? And by having 5 people, you've got to spread. And even though they cut Sherry out, they still filmed it a certain way, so they had to accommodate. And like, I think this episode could have been so much better if there was only 4 of them there, because they could have done, like that runway you were saying they did their first looks. They could have had an improvement on that look down the runway. They could have done extra bits. Like, the more people that are still in the competition, the less you can really add to the challenge, because there's only so much thing. The more people, the less complicated you can make the challenge. Like, that's why you would never have Snatch Game on the first episode. And I think I wish they go back to in a top 3. I think it would help this episode. Like, imagine how 2 of them, like they said, even though you're both amazing, Crystal and Jackie, you're both going home, because top four is just not, you know what I mean? Like, and I love Crystal's my favorite. Remember, she is my winner. But I'm just saying, I think we need more. Nothing shocking besides Sherry Pie getting has happened.
Yeah, I said multiple
and
times. Oh,
Death
God.
Gold on being the get, but
I was just gonna say, I said multiple times, like top four is not a thing. Like I don't know why this show is trying to make top four a thing. Never been a thing. Not going to be a thing. Like it's just stupid. No one cares about the fourth person anyway. So this is something we can talk about. We kind of talked about it before, I guess. But Rex Trek saying that he's hoping with Sherry Pie's disqualification, they'd sub her with Jackie. But I guess that's kind of like I just said my view on it, right? Like top four is pointless. Like Jackie's not going to win the competition. Yeah, she's good, but she's not going to win. So why bring her back? It's like kicking a dead horse. And I mean that literally. Go on, Horatio.
I think the top four really is just for the finale and for the lip syncing. I think that's just the only point. I think the top three makes more sense. We're more used to culturally a top three, gold, silver, and bronze, and all of that. And that's how the show was originally. There was a top three in season 4, top three in season 5, etc. But it just doesn't work with the lip syncing in semifinals, final mode. That's the only reason why we have a top four. I think it was season 10 when we went, one of you is going home tonight, and then she went, oh, actually, I like the four of you. Let's, So they made it. I think that was the first time, or maybe it was season 9. I don't know, but I think that's the only reason. Now I'm just gonna do now what I think about the challenge, and then I'll shut up. I just because it was heavily edited, but then they didn't do any rattlesnakes or any sort of comments or laughter or anything. So it was really hard to gauge who is doing better, who is doing worse. To me, the people who were a little bit under par to me were at one point Jada wasn't lip syncing very well to her own lyrics, and that is her own verse. And then Jackie actually didn't. She had one of the strongest verses, along with Crystal probably, but there was and I actually agree with what Jamal said, that the way she was using her wig, it just wasn't working. I mean, it was hilarious how when she recorded, it was great, and it went up a gear or two, but it somehow fell flat. I don't know if it's because she was walking backwards, or I don't know. So for me, those two were the worst, and I was thinking that they would be the bottom two, and that obviously Jada would stay and that Jackie would go. So that was the only thing that I had to go by. But then in terms of who was better than others, like I said, to me, Sherry Pie had a bit of an edge. But then I knew that Sherry Pie wasn't going to go home because she wasn't featuring heavily. So those are my thoughts on the main challenge.
Yeah, go on, Sia.
One thing I noticed with Jackie, and I love Jackie Cox, but she wears the very similar type of wig in almost every episode. It's like one and then coiffed and there. And I got a feeling that she tries to emulate her vision of her mum. And I think this episode, it really went against her because she had really similar wigs the whole way through, except when, even though the blue one was shorter, had the same thing going on. But I think that's what, because it was the choreography that let her down. If she'd had like a really straight wig or something with an angle that when she was moving, because the wig, you could see it was too heavy for the routine she practiced. But part of being on Drag Race is knowing which wigs for which thing, But I gotta say, Jackie's finale look was the best she ever looked, and possibly besides Crystal, the best runway. I really like Jackie's runway,
Wait, sorry, we're skipping ahead. Chris, you want to say something about the runway or about the challenge?
Runway.
I was gonna butt in and talk about Jackie, if I may. In terms of like Rex Trek's point, I don't think Sherry Pie's failure in life like elevates Jackie's performance on the runway or in the challenge, and I don't think she should be included. Is in like in the top 4. I think she should just be. She should have her place. She lost that challenge. She should stay, where she is. And also, I agree with Suta, and like that look, I felt like I'd already seen like a couple of weeks ago. I was like sure that she just hadn't come up with anything new, and so that's why I kind of feel like, yeah, you can just go home. We'll see you at the reunion, and you can be in like the audience clapping along with the rest of us for the finale. I mean, now that we have to do the finale via like Zoom, like there's no ish with like a 3-way like lip sync battle, you know? Anyway, that's all I want to say about Jackie Cox. I'm kind of glad that she went.
Yeah, like, go back to your own country, you know. Sue, do you want to say something else? She's from America, no, Canada, right? She's from Canada. Calm down, everyone.
My
She's from
God.
Canada. Go back to Canada. Does someone else have something they wanted to say? Go on, Bob.
So ignoring what Grant just said, I'm going to agree with Chris in the sense that, like, you know, you guys know I love Jackie, but I think it would feel quite weird and underwhelming to have her in the final, based on at least her track record in this season. So, like, she's a queen who I would happily spend a lot of money seeing a show of, or going to see live, or you know, I would really enjoy it. I mean, in fairness, right now I'd pay to do anything outside, really, but you know, I would definitely like go to see her. Like, I think she's, you know, she's really talented, but her run in the show is not, you know, has not kind of been up to that par, really. So I think it would be quite disappointing and quite weird to, like Chris was saying, to sub her in with Sherry going out, because then essentially, like, so this person in theory wasn't good enough to make the top 4, but now they're actually in with a chance in theory of winning. And actually that, in terms of, at least for a fan and the narrative of that person going through the competition, would feel quite strange to kind of be like, oh, actually, you know, Gigi with 4 wins, if Jackie won over her, you're like, actually, this competition then means nothing. Like, it all comes down to, you just need to survive until this moment. And so I think it is the right decision. And I also think Jackie's going to be the kind of person who'll probably come back in an All-Stars and do fairly well. So, you know, we'll see her maybe again. But yeah, I don't think it would feel quite weird now to just be like, oh, you know, here's a place now, because, you know, you were just lucky enough that one of the people in the show got disqualified for being a predator. Like, you know, it's kind of a weird framing otherwise, isn't it?
Bob, is your agreeing with Chris the new agreeing with Luke?
Yes, well, I agreed with
feel
the
the
ratio
same
lot today
way,
as
like-
well. So I'm just like, I'm unanchored right now. You know, there's no Luke to really agree with. So I'm just agreeing with everyone, apart from you know, Grant's comments a moment ago.
But they're the ones that you should agree with the most. You're going to see her.
I think I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, for God's sake. Never mind. I forgot now. I laughed too much.
That's all right. Put your hand up if you remember. I was going to say, like, if you're in the top, if you're like the 4th contestant from now on, you're just like, if you're the 4th, like, get kicked off, like, no, it's 5th, sorry, right? This is top 4. If you're kicked off 5th, you'll just be like, desperately looking for everyone's like Twitter history, their Facebook, or their social media, looking to, like, you know, like faking some tweets on like Photoshop or whatever, like saying they're all predators. That's what I mean. That's what as you guys said, like, you're right. Like, just because someone else is like a terrible human being doesn't mean like I'd feel terrible you make it to the top. Like, I want to be there because I deserve to be there, not because like I framed everyone else. Justice for Alison. She gone to the runway? Go on, Sarah.
One thing I will say with Jackie's performance in the show is I do feel bad she never got a win, because she was in the top 5 times, which is a lot. You know, and it does. I don't think the thing, if you don't win, you don't mean it, because the fans, you fall in love with the drag queens that do well in that. But I think she'll do well in All Stars because she's basically this season's Miss Cracker.
Yeah, I was gonna say it before, and then I thought I won't say, but since Suzuki said that, I think she should have won the Snatch game. Personally, I think I said it when that was aired. I think she had an edge over Mariah the Robot because she was impersonating someone, and I know Lisa Rinna, and she was doing a very good job of it. So I think she was hard done by, and I think she should have at least have 1 win. So I agree.
I disagree. I don't think she performed well enough to get a win this season, in my opinion. But also in terms of like, I don't pull that face, she didn't. But also for All Stars, in terms of coming back for All Stars, I don't think like similar to maybe not Miss Cracker, but some of the other queens I mentioned in terms of like my reaction to the cast of the season and stuff like that. I feel like she's performed great this season generally. You know, I don't think she's got like a ton to prove. I think like come back in All Stars maybe in like 5 years if you've like grown and developed in different ways, and great. But like if she came back for All Star 6, I think loads of people would be excited. But I think it's pointless. Like we know she's going to do well. Like Jeremy, I don't think she's got like much more to show right now that we haven't really seen personally. I don't know. Okay, should we move into runway? Okay, should we like do like thumbs up system, our version of two and boots for all the looks? Chris are like pretty self-explanatory, like 1 thumb, 2 thumb, middle thumbs, down thumbs, whatever you want to do. So I'll say names and we'll just do that. And then if anyone has anything they want to add about a particular outfit, put your hand up and then we'll talk about it a bit if you want. Right, everyone down in the chat as well, get involved. So first of all, Crystal.
Gagging!
Yes, agreed. Also, like I think we talked about it before, right? But like all her looks are basically him off of Powerpuff Girls, like in a different scenario, right? Like him goes to Aladdin. Do you know what I mean? That's very this runway. I'm here for it. Loved it. Thought it was great. Next we've got Gigi. Prom, like headgear prom, nerdy braces, Chris. Not too thumbs from you guys. Interesting. Okay. Jackie. Yeah, Chris. Okay, I'll say my thoughts in it. I thought it was boring AF. Like, fine, like, nice-ish dress, but, like, wasn't really doing it for me. Like, boring. Like, no one as exciting as the others for me. Anyone else got anything they want to say about Jackie? Any rebuttals? Or different things like Jada said? Good. That means I'm right. Sherry. Again, like, expected from her. Like, okay, 2 thumbs down is harsh. It's what I expected. Middling. Yeah, I'm middling like Suter. Like, it was fine. It was good, but didn't excite me in any way. Okay, Jada. Interesting. I'm loving our different reactions to this. I want to hear your thoughts, Horatio.
What you just said about Sherry, sorry. What you just said about Sherry, I feel about Jada. Like, yeah, but where is the elevation? Like, there was no elevation to that. With Sherry, I actually thought that it was a bit different to what she normally does. It was vintage, but it was kind of different. It was Mae West, I don't know. But with Jada, it was like, it's the same shit that you normally wear. Like, where is the finale elegance extravaganza sort of going one level beyond? I don't know.
Really, I didn't see. Oh, sorry, Sue. I should quickly say I didn't see that. I thought it was one level. I thought it is what she'd done previously. It was very similar to a lot of her other looks, but to me, it was elevated. I think it was like proper gorgeous. Like the dress was amazing. It was kind of like pinnacle of pageant drag to me. Like I've not seen like a better pageant look on the show, in my opinion. I know. And again, like I don't love Jada still. I don't want her to win or anything. I don't have any massive love for her. I'm not massively bothered with TBH, but I did think she looked proper great in that last look. To be fair, go on, Sia.
Yaz, I got you covered. Jada looked beautiful. She was killing it. And you know what? I promised myself I'd never like an animal print on the runway again after bloody Patrice Royale's ruined animal print and BB Zahara Benet ruined animal print. I was like, she wore that so well. I didn't even know it was snake print until she was like at the end of the stage. And I thought, with Jada, I'll give her this, right? She is perfect with her execution of drag. She doesn't have one sequin out to play. If there was a sequin out to play, she would put it back in, you know? Because the necklace was just the right shape. Like, she knows exactly how to do everything right. So it isn't nothing. You have seen it before, I'll give you that. But it's one of those things. It's like bread and butter chip, a chip butty.
Is this like a shoulder situation? Was it because of the shoulders really that made it?
I don't know. I just thought it was lovely, and she had the lovely little cape thing going down, and it was every little detail worked. Every single thing just. And I'm not a huge Jada fan, but I thought I'd help Yaz out and defend Jada like crazy because she's not here to do so.
No, I agree. I'm on the same page. I think it was, looking back though, Horatio, I agree. I think it was mainly the shoulders, to be fair. Horatio like proper hates his dress, and I don't know why. But Bob, did you want to say something?
I thought it was okay. It was great. I mean, it was good dress. It wasn't, but it didn't. I don't know. Like I saw the others making something different and elevating themselves. Even Jackie, I agree. Jackie's wasn't anything, but it was an elevation from her normal standard. I didn't see the elevation from Jada. It was a bit meh to me, but I didn't hate it.
So, go on, you probably had something to say, right?
So yeah, mine was more. It was less about this. It was more like a rebuttal or a tittle or a retattle about what Sutikin was saying about Latrice's animal print, because that wasn't like, it wasn't animal print. It was just like some pictures of animals that someone like spray painted on. It was like literally the saddest dress I've ever seen on the show, and it still makes me angry. Like I remember watching it at Grant's, and like there was that scene like the establishing shot, like while they're getting ready in the workroom, where you see her like steaming it or like ironing it or something. And Grant and I were like, "This is going to be a fucking mess." Like there was a moment where our hearts sunk, and we were like, "This is."
Sense, Bob.
I give
I
up.
realised that mid sentence. That's why I changed it to BB's a half an A because I realised it wasn't even proper animal print. It was just like you know, you buy a T-shirt when you've been to Disneyland in the Animal Kingdom. It was like she just took that and put it into a dress.
By the way, can I just say that Kurt agrees with me regarding Jada's look? Okay, so we like Kurt here.
I said that already. I don't agree. Like Kurt went in on Jada. I don't think it's that bad. But to be fair, with Latrice's dress, we have got a lot of mileage out of that. Like it has kind of made my life a little bit better in the long run. To be fair,
Latrice has proven her All Stars worth with how we can still make fun of her. What, 2 years on? And
exactly.
It's still fresh.
Exactly. So, the other thing is, let's do a quick thumbs up, down, or whatever for Rue's look. White hair, black outfit, like bit S&M-y. I thought it was cool. I like the contrast. I was into her. Okay, so post runway stuff, right? So I wrote I think I agree. I think it's it was a very close top 6, top 5, top 6, top 4. I think it was a really strong season in terms of the contestants. This is the other thing I want to talk about. So I think a ratio should go on, Sarah. You're muted.
Sorry, just one secret. I think Crystal would have had better. I know she had good compliments. I think if she hadn't done a similar sort of thing on the makeover challenge, she would have had more props for this. Because I think she played this card twice in this season already. One with the devil look with all red. Then she did the Bernie and Earthy thing, all yellow and all that with that. I think this look would have been more spectacular if she hadn't played this card already. And especially because last week, it wasn't as good as it looked last week. I know that was purple, so it fitted more, but I think that went against her. I think if she had somehow been more unique, which is impossible for Crystal, she might have avoided the bottom.
I agree, but I think it is her signature look at the same time. You know, I don't think it was like a unique look she did once and then repeated. I think that is kind of like her signature look. Like I said, I think her signature look is just him off Powerpuff Girls in like a different scenario, like a different backdrop. Go on, Bob.
No, I was just going to say, I thought Crystal's outfit was quite a nice one in the sense that, like, there were parts of it that I feel like if anyone else were doing it and doing it like slightly differently, I would hate it. But like, because it was really weirdly like the shape was quite weird, but like I ended up really loving it. Maybe because it's Crystal, but like I think she pulled it all together in terms of everything. So like the makeup really matching it, and it kind of feeling like it had a fairly stable reference point, but also being quite imaginative at the same time. Plus, I mean, I think like Horatio was saying, I don't think necessarily performance on this challenge mattered in the sense that for like choosing the bottom 2, because they were literally read out in order of who's done best on the challenge so far. And the judges specifically mentioned track record. So I think in many ways, Crystal was bottom 2 because she's been lower in the rest of the season. Like that's kind of how it felt to me, because almost all of the critiques were like, none of them were like you were actually terrible or you were great, like again, like Horatio was saying, he's my Luke for today. But just that, yeah, I don't know, it just, there wasn't enough I think to go on otherwise. It was literally in order of wins read out. So
yeah, I'm actually surprised that Sherry wasn't in the bottom with Jackie Cox, because in this challenge, like Sherry didn't really bring it throughout the musical, like in terms of outfits, and I didn't really feel like her performance had that much energy. So I was surprised that they actually went with the track record, because they didn't really need to. They could have just put Sherry like in the bottom. But it's that thing of like before, you know, the controversy. I bet that Sherry was doing really well. Rue was keeping her eye on her, being like, oh, okay, look, this is one of the top contenders. We're not going to get rid of her. But actually, in this challenge, you could have put Sherry in the bottom and it would have made sense, I think. I don't think Crystal should have been there at all, just because it's impossible not to love her, really.
I agree. Sherry was actually the only one I can remember getting any sort of negative critiques when they were discussing things. So I agree, but I'm sure you're right. That probably is a reason she wasn't actually put in the bottom. But that was the next point I was going to talk about anyway. It's a good segue, Bob, because as Horatio, I think, brought it up initially about whether it's just gone on like the results from different challenges. So yeah, I wonder whether Horatio wanted to like say anything more about your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on what? Sorry.
like it being done potentially just purely on wins at the end, as opposed to like performance in that actual last challenge?
Well, yeah, I think that's how it turned out to be. I mean, I, for instance, would have put. I said it before. I think Jada and Jackie were slightly subpar. I think Jada was struggling with her confidence in the performance. At some point, she was struggling with the lip syncing, so I would have put her down there. But yeah, I think also Crystal didn't belong in the bottom two because she was one of the best. I think her verse was very energetic and was delivered with a lot of confidence, and it was funny, and it was like, and that was the one thing that they had to create themselves. So it was quite unfair, really, to put Crystal in the bottom. I think Jackie belonged more. And then, Sherry for me, Jada, definitely not Gigi. And maybe that's why Gigi won. No one is saying that Gigi belonged in the bottom. So there you go. Maybe that's why she won.
I think what would have been really cool this episode is if they pulled the Dragula and had Crystal win the challenge, but was still in the bottom because of the track record. That would have also then, when she won, because she was obviously going to beat Jackie because of the way things went, that would have been 2 wins for Crystal, 2 wins for Jada, 2 wins for Sherry, 3 wins for Gigi, much more even than 4 wins, 2 wins, 2 wins, 1 win. It would have made I thought that would have been a really good twist, because they haven't done that in Drag Race before, had someone win a challenge and be in the bottom. I've only seen that in Dragula, which I thought was a really cool twist.
How does that work though? How can you win and be in the bottom? Sorry, I haven't seen Dragula.
In Dragula, one of the queens, I can't remember which one, she won the challenge, but she was put in the bottom because they said, although you've won, we noticed the last few weeks you haven't been showing your stuff, and this challenge was. So I can't remember exactly what happened, but she ended up being in the elimination to prove that she had what it takes, because of some. But they do judge differently in Dragula, don't they? But it was a really cool twist because you don't expect it. And this episode, I think it would have worked because, like you said, Crystal was one of the best in the challenge. And then they could say, but we're going to go on track record due to how close-knit it is. So even though we're going to say, Crystal, you win, we're still going to have you lip sync for your life because of the track record, because she only started bumping up later on. I just thought it would have been a cool twist. Controversy.
I think I think that scenario could work in other ones, but I think Crystal has had such a kind of positive amount of momentum recently that it would have felt quite weird. I get what you mean. I think definitely that's quite a fun way to mix things up. But Crystal's had like a good amount of momentum the last few episodes, just won the last challenge, so it'd be probably a bit cruel to be like, you win and also you're in the bottom two. But you've had 2 wins in a row, but we're still going to make you lip sync. But yeah, I mean, I think I wonder if that is going to be explored at some point in the show. I mean, obviously we've got All Stars 5, where we're told that All Stars rules are changing again. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see some kind of twist on a twist, revealing into a twist. But who knows? Yeah, we'll see how this all rolls, I guess, now.
I just want to say, I agree with you guys, but in terms of what Sue was saying, that would be really cool. But I think the issue is I didn't explicitly say whether it was done purely on results. This is just speculation, right? I think that's what I kind of the theme I've noticed from myself in regards to my thoughts on this episode and season and Drag Race generally is the lack of transparency with this stuff. If you're going to do it purely on results and say specifically, it was too tight this episode, we felt they all performed virtually the same, we're going to do it purely on results. You know what I mean? I didn't actually say that. They said we're going to take it into consideration or whatever, which is obvious. That's what they've done every season since, and every competition show. They didn't actually specifically say they're doing it just on results. And same in other parts of the episode, right? We didn't specifically see all the parts of a challenge and then preparing for that, recording vocals and preparing for the other parts of Rusical. And we didn't see we don't know what was important in regards to judging of this episode as well, whether it was done purely on or mostly on the rap verse or performances in the other sections, how important that was, and how important were vocals in the other sections, and how important were the runway looks. And do you know what I mean? Nothing. We don't really know what's going on, right? We've been analyzing this show for countless seasons now, and even we have literally no idea how this is judged or what's really going on, right? Is that fair for anyone? I vote we go to the World of Wonder building and burn it down. Bob, go.
No, I was going to say, I think apart from the starting a fire, which is not a great idea, we do not endorse this. At least let's cover ourselves legally here. But I think you're right though, in the sense that they've never really been clear with it. And I think sorry, I just saw a Sukin in the corner with a lighter. Good old pyromania gets the party started. But no, what I think, in season 2, for example, Jujubee wasn't sent home in a lip sync. Rue just kind of said, look, we're now going to go to the final 2. I'm sorry, Juju, like you've not made it to the final, and there were kind of moments like, I think they did the same with season 3, maybe. So there is a way of doing it where you are like, you get everyone to the end and then you're like, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it through. And you're not going to be sent home through a lip sync, but you're just not going to, like, we think your time's up. We're now really narrowing it down to the top people based on track record or based on your uniqueness as a potential winner, right? So there is a way of doing that, but yeah, I think Grant's right. Like, that hasn't really been made clear, because it's kind of like, oh, you did really well in the challenge, and also you've only got 2. You've not had a win yet, and also this thing, but also you've had 3 wins. It was just a bit disjointed for me.
But it's getting but it's getting more like opaque as the seasons are going on, right? Like, it was clearer in older seasons, like how they're working things out and what mattered and what was going on. I feel like as the seasons are progressing, it's getting more and more confusing, even as like super fans or whatever. Sorry, go on, Suya. Then Horatio.
Breaking news just in: how they judge Drag Race. Take loads of drugs, take even more drugs, have an orgy, pick the cutest boy drag, make sure they don't get eliminated because that's what Lou likes, then take some more drugs, and then just hope everything works on camera.
It is basically that. Go on, Horatio.
I don't know how to follow that, really. No, I was just, look, guys, we enjoy the show. Like, we have to give them some credit. They did intimate the fact that they were going to go through track record. The problem, I think, is that they sort of they are in a bit of a bipolar situation with track record, because the whole thing started with this concept of immunity, and then it was quickly discarded because, oh yeah, what you've done in the past doesn't matter. Like, we're gonna judge you anew, and it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. But it clearly does when the competition gets to a certain point. And I think that's the problem. And maybe you're right, Grant, in saying that they're not clear enough when the track record starts being important. I think it does become important at some point, but and it's just I mean, if you have someone in the top 4 who hasn't won any challenges against someone who has, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And or if someone has avoided the bottom 2 through the whole competition, like Crystal, well, that's kind of unfair for her to fail just before, so it is important, but they're also very keen on not making a thing of the track record through the season. So it doesn't matter, you won the last challenge, you're going to be in the bottom because you didn't perform well. And that's, I think, the dichotomy that's happening here. But to be fair with them, they did intimate that the only thing that they were going to go by was going to be the track record. They made a joke about it. It probably didn't land very well. It didn't make a lot of sense. Are they going to go? Rue was like, oh, I need help with the maths. Oh, is that the track record? I don't know. And then it turned out to be the track record. That's the way of saying, this is the only way we're going to do it now, because we're in the finale and this is how it's going to work. So I think we have to give them some sort of, cut them some slack here.
The thing is, like, I don't even disagree if they want to do it that way. Like, don't make a big deal out of it until the end, because it makes a worse reality TV show if like you're paying attention to the greater picture as opposed to each episode individually. I agree, but I think my issue is, like, I didn't read it in the way you read it, in terms of I don't feel like I did say this episode we're objectively going just on track record because it's all too close. They mentioned it, and they mentioned they're taking it into consideration, but I don't think they said like we're going to do it purely on track record. I think that's my only issue. Like, just let us know like what your thought process is to get to the result you've got to, like what, and in regards to, but then also like, I don't know. I just repeating myself. I understand what you're saying. But I was just go back up because Rex had a question for us. I remember it actually. He said, what would we prefer? I think we should quickly say what we think. What would we prefer? What do we prefer? The like lip sync sorry, I can't talk. The lip sync battles in the finale, or Rue just choosing the winner? me, definitely Rue choosing the winner. I think the lip syncs are fun to watch, but I don't think they're really that fair anyway, because like it depends on who's paired against who, what song it is. I don't like it can lead to completely like again like if you can track if you really do care about track record, which I think should be important to take into consideration based on the lip syncs. If it is done properly, then someone can lip sync their way to victory, right, despite not earning it. So I don't know, like I think it's like a dodgy territory personally, but it is fun to watch and entertaining. Go on, Bob.
I was going to say either way with that, I guess it is still Rue picking, isn't it? It's just him picking with slightly different factors around it. So I guess it might not necessarily change it all that much. I mean, obviously Sasha was like, actually Sasha had a really good track record, just they weren't necessarily wins, right? She'd actually been performing really well throughout the season. But it just, they weren't all converted into wins, as it were, right? I guess either way, Rue is going to be the one picking, and I don't know if it will necessarily shift all that much. Sasha may have tipped the balance in her own favor by doing that lip sync, because maybe if it was a straight choice, it might have been Shay. But I think in most other circumstances, it probably would have been the same winner, right?
Sorry, I thought someone else was speaking. No one did. Does anyone have any? I agree. Does anyone else go on, Horatio?
No, I was just gonna say that it's hard. I mean, as viewers, you want the finale to be meaningful. You don't want to watch the finale. I mean, I guess we used to watch the finale and just put up with whatever decision RuPaul had made, and we were happy back then. But I think that the show has evolved into something else, and if we don't get, I mean, I'm not saying that the lip sync battle is the best way necessarily. I mean, season 10's lip sync battle was just really not that memorable. Evie Oddly's win was a little bit better. Like, she did something with her lip sync, so I was glad for that. And clearly, Sasha just won the season based on that lip sync. So maybe the lip sync is not the best way. I still think that they should do something with it. I mean, it's still Rue's decision, so it's RuPaul's Drag Race, so she chooses who wins. But I think it'd be wise for them to keep involving the audience in some sort of way. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think that would work really well.
Well, especially at the voting before, right, as a way to involve the audience. But I agree with everything you said. So Suited and Chris. Okay, Chris first. Go on, Chris.
I disagree with you, Grant, because I love a big finish. And yeah, like if it had been Rue just choosing a winner last year, like we could have potentially had Silky win, and that would have been a terrible decision. That lip sync showed that she was lazy and that she wasn't prepared to fight for a win, and she came out and did like a terrible job and earned her place, where it was. I mean, she should have gone home earlier.
You remind us.
What's that?
What did she do? I can't really remember what Silky did in her lip sync.
Silky came out in like a leotard that she'd already been wearing like multiple times throughout the season, and then she did that split wig reveal where she pulled her hair apart, and it was just awful. And then she got on the floor and she span around like an M&M that had been like dropped on the floor, basically. And then she stayed on the floor for quite some time, and then she kind of like put her leg up and finished, like, and was like, ta-da!
No recollection of that whatsoever.
Well, with reason.
But also relatable. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have won. That's the thing. And if Rue just kind of picked someone out from the crowd, maybe the track record would have shown Silky was like, oh, she has the potential to be like the star, like the one that we should home in on. But the lip sync showed us that she shouldn't have been the winner. And like as the like alternative, the only thing I can think of is like a knife fight. That's the thing that I think would entertain me the most, like a drag queen knife fight. I mean, that'd be great.
Seconded. Sorry, Sue, just quick. I just want to say, like, I agree to an extent, but also, like, Silky wouldn't have won because, like I said, because of the fan vote. Like, I think they basically just go on the fan vote at the end of the day anyway, right? Like, obviously, other things matter to an extent, but even above Rue's decision, like, if no one was Team Silky, right? So she wasn't going to win, right? Go on, Sue.
like I think it's got to a complicated point in Drag Race fandom because the lip sync for your life when it first happened was amazing. I remember, and I keep in mind Sasha was my queen to win, and I was like, oh, it's a shame now. Shay's definitely winning. Oh, and I remember watching. Oh, I'm gutted now. She don't even get to survive one lip sync. She's against Shay, and then all the petals came down, and she actually out lip synced Shay, which a lot of people don't like admitting. But Shay, when she saw the petals going everywhere, got distracted, got confused, and admitted it because she hadn't prepared. Because Shay said on Hey Queen, they were all told to prepare a reveal. So there's no excuse for not having a bet. They were all told to. Sasha also had something, she was going to clip her hair if she had the different songs. They knew the song options. And since then, nothing's replicated those rose petals coming down. Nothing's beat that moment. Evie had a good showing.
Not even Asian butterflies.
Oh, don't get me started on the butterflies. Peter's coming for Drag Race. Peter is coming for Drag Race. But they need to do something new. They need to stop relying on this formula. Like All Stars, they seem to experiment with what they can get away with and what they can't. But on the actual show, like I want there to be an in-between between the lip sync for your life and Rue picking. Like, I'm not sure how you can do it though, because I think the reason they've kept lip sync for your life, because all the lip syncs have been really good this season, is you can't justify needing that because the original excuse was the lip syncs were lackluster. I think it's because Wu is eventually going to stand down and they just want a format that makes it that people won't complain about someone picking someone. Like, let's be able to see the lip syncs as sort of like quantitative data for who's winning in the final. Because, like, in lots of previous seasons, like Manila could have easily won instead of Raja in the original season, for example, and that was just Ru's call. It's similar with, even though Jinx was clearly going to win, Roxy had a good track record against her, and it was just because she was a bit of a bitch. We discussed that in a chat before. But what's happened now is this weird thing where Ru, I mean, I don't even think Ru does pick the winner anymore. I think Ru just takes the drugs off the producers and says, they're the winner.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else anyone wants to add about this particular thing? Cool. If not, should we go to our CUNTs? Yes. Okay,
What
cool.
about the lip sync? That's the bit I have most to say.
I literally forgot about it. Oh, yeah. Go on, lip sync. Go on.
Well, I think that's where the whole episode went wrong for me, because the track record, fine, both of them are the worst track record. But if we're gonna base it on the lip sync, to me, I mean, I love Crystal, and I'm really glad that she's in the top 3. But she didn't do as well as Jackie. As a lip syncer, she was doing all of the words. And she was doing stuff with her dress, which Crystal couldn't do because her dress was a different kind of dress. But I'm sorry, she just did the cat thing that she did last week. Any other queen would have been red for that. And I think Jackie won that lip sync. And I'm not saying that Jackie is a great lip syncer or anything. She probably didn't win because she had lip sync 3 times. Calm down, Surakin. This is just my opinion. Yeah, I'm entitled to one opinion. Right, you can talk in a moment. I honestly thought that Jackie did a better job of that lip sync. There was more energy to her words. You could see all the words were said very crisply. So I didn't agree with that decision. I understand that the placement and 3 times in the bottom, takes a toll, but I didn't agree with the decision.
I just like Jackie proper pissed me off during that lip sync because she's going on the whole time about how she knew the words to the rap. But then Crystal as well. So I was watching Crystal the whole time because obvious reasons. And Crystal knew every single word to that rap, but she wasn't telling us about it 20 times. Like I don't think you can use that as an advantage for Jackie. Crystal knew every single word and was super crisp as well. I personally found Crystal far more entertaining and engaging. She did something different. Again, like for me, I want to see something I don't expect. Jackie performed very well. I think it was a good lip sync, but she did what I expected her to do. Crystal had a lot more fun with it. Was a lot more what's Crystal going to do next, Very that's my opinion. Bob, go on.
See, I mean, obviously, I adore both Crystal and Jackie. I was fully gearing up to really love both of them in this lip sync. I agree with Horatio though. I think I like for me, as much as I love Crystal and as much as Crystal did a decent job and was enjoying it, there are a few times where it was kind of like Crystal was sort of, it was a bit less cohesive for me. Like she'd sort of do a little bit of a dance, then kind of walk over and maybe be like, I'm gonna kind of do this now. Jackie's is a little bit tighter for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, for like neither of them for me were like, whoa, that was a mind-blowing lip sync that I will remember for years to come. Like it was kind of okay, it was good, it was serviceable. But I don't think it was like a direct, this person absolutely killed it and as a result made it to the top 4. I think it was kind of, this lip sync is kind of like, we have to have it. It's going to happen, but like the result is not going to change it. Like, and it made sense. Like it makes way more sense for Crystal to be top 4/top 3 than it does Jackie. But I don't think the lip sync was the thing that decided that. I think that was decided long before, personally. And I do think Jackie was a smidge better.
I agree. So Chris and then Suter, but I just want to say what Kurt said as well. Jackie took her shoes off. Come on, that alone should get her disqualified from the whole damn show. Should we Sherry 2.0? Sorry, Chris and Suter.
Yeah, I agree. Also, what Kurt put up again here, like, where Jackie was in the bottom twice before. Like, there's never been a queen that's been consistently in the bottom and then goes into like a third lip sync and then survives that. So I think that, you know, as well as track record, all accumulates into a failure. And also, yeah, taking your shoes off is never a good thing. It's almost as bad as taking your wig off without a reveal and then throwing that somewhere. Like, it's just a big no-no. Like Crystal had like love and success on her side, and like that always, you know, it always like adds a little point here and there, like on someone's behalf, even though she wasn't like the strongest.
That's what she had.
Yeah, and also I agree with Grant about Jackie Cox. Like Jackie repeated everything that she had to say like 5 times about every subject, so I'm kind of like happy with Crystal not kind of hyping herself up, because then the lip sync would have been maybe like worse for that, because, you know, Crystal delivered what she could do and Jackie went home. Anyway, the rest is history.
Yeah, I'm sorry for being so dramatic, because actually I'm in the middle of it. I think they both did a good lip sync. I don't think one was clean. Sorry, Rachel, I was just being dramatic when I was doing that. I thought they were really equal. I preferred Crystal, I think, only because I haven't seen a lip sync before. And I love Crystal. She's my winner. I know I'm delusional. I still want her to win. But I just felt with Jackie, because this is a big factor. When you've seen someone lip sync before, even if they pull something out the bag, it's not quite as impressive. It's like, so like when Shay and Sasha lip sync, we'd already seen Shay lip sync. We knew what to expect. With Sasha, we really didn't know what to expect. So when that happened, it was boomer with this. Like I did expect Crystal to pull something else out of the bag. I mean, she did the cat litter thing again, and that was a little annoying, because I was like, we've seen you do that. But I think what Crystal does that no other queen besides Heidi has ever done on the show is she takes what she knows the judges like about her, and amps it up, and then suppresses anything they've critiqued her for. She changed her makeup up, then she went back to when before they could say that it's getting boring just seeing that, you know. Crystal seems like she's a hippie druggie, you know, but she's actually really smart, and I think that's what. But so's Jackie, so it was a shame they won, because I think they were very well matched. But I wish they were both in the final, and you know, but. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair points. Anyone have anything they wanted to add, or should we move on to Giggle?
Just very quickly, I think if this lip sync had happened earlier in the season, I think definitely Crystal wouldn't have survived that. And also going to your point, Surukin, about it's the first time I wanted to see her doing something, but it was really not that exciting. I mean, I think what carried her was the love that we all feel for her, and how we wanted her to make it to the finale. But put this on episode 3, Crystal would have gone home. And also on the note about lip syncing, I know that All Stars has a different routine. So if you lip sync, it's because you're doing really well. But you can absolutely do something different every time and be more exciting every time you lip sync. And also on the rap note, look at Pendela and I think it was Aja on the first All Stars 3 rap. It was Anaconda. It was amazing. But why was it amazing? Because they all were like this on top of the lyrics, and that's what I think gave the edge to Jackie on this one. I mean, I don't disagree with the result. I think the placement and the track record played a massive part on this, but I think the lip sync was actually for Crystal to lose, and she kind of lost it. She didn't do anything that exciting, but that just.
Well,
Sorry.
I agree with you though. Can I just quickly, because I did say a few weeks ago, Crystal could have easily been Rock and Sakura this season, because in the early season she was just as lackluster as Rockham. Do you know what I mean? And what I like, and this is the thing, it's the charisma that Crystal has and the uniqueness about her that makes us love us. But if she'd went home, we would have all had a different story. You'd be like, oh, she went that bad in the lip sync, she shouldn't have gone home. Do you know what I mean? It's because she won that it's easy to say she didn't do so well. But I think she might be saving something for the finale, because I think she knows how this game works. And I think she knew, unless she did super badly, Jackie was going to go home. So she was like, I'm going to save this. Why show all my cards now? Because I think she's way smarter than, it seemed.
I was just going to add on that. I agree that she might whip something out for the final, and I'm fairly sure it's going to be a mullet reveal. I'm fairly sure that's what we're going to see. I'm hoping I get proved wrong and there's something else as well.
We're all hoping for that and praying.
I'm keen to see that mullet in its natural habitat, to be fair. Rachel, I just want to reiterate, watch lip sync again. Watch Crystal. Her lip sync was so crisp to the rap. She wasn't watermelon nothing. Like, hers was super crisp. She just didn't tell you about it 5 times. So you're watching Jackie. Like, Crystal was great. I watched her specifically during the rap to see if she could get it. It was super crisp, honestly. But it's
Grant's next video, frame by frame lip sync review of Crystal versus Jackie.
Honestly, like Jeremy Kyle style, getting to that point.
I don't think it was as crisp as Jackie's, but hey, we'll
should tell you about it. What was I going to say? That's the other thing I was going to say as well. What Chris reminded me when he said about like throwing the wig, almost as bad as throwing a wig off. At the very beginning, she threw her jewelry off as well, like towards the judges. Then Rudy left her shoes in the middle of the stage for Crystal to trip over. I was honestly very offended by her lip sync, and I almost cried. And that's all I want to say about it before we move on. So let's whip out our CUNTs. Thank you. So I really should think about this before I do this. But charisma, I don't know. Maybe Jackie, because I thought she came across really well this episode generally. All right, happy? Sorry, Chris. You want to hear the previous ones? We're going order, right? So Chris, Suter, Bob, Horatio for like the CUNTs and chat as well.
Okay, charisma, Crystal. Yeah, Crystal.
Okay, my joking charisma is Chris's curls. My serious charisma is shockingly Gigi, because I really related to her when she was singing in the mirror. Because when you realize she's non-binary, and I actually felt for her when she said, I see a beautiful girl. I can't sing, but I really felt for her in that moment. I was like, what? Your story's clicking to me.
My charisma is for Jamal Sims. I feel like I wanted him to win this episode.
I'm just gonna go give my charisma to Jada, because she was just putting herself down in the confessionals and she wasn't afraid to do so, and I just love her for that.
It's the thing. So I go first. I always say the worst one, so I don't think of anything. Kurt's giving C to Crystal. I agree with your guys more. I'll switch one. Uniqueness, I'll give to Crystal.
Can I not choose Crystal again? Because I would go for Crystal. Damn it. I'm screwing myself over. This is the first time I've done this game. Okay. I'll go with Sherry Pie in terms of the lineup. Like, Sherry Pie was always like unique in her old lady, like Mae West sort of vibe, So I'll give her that award because she ain't getting any others.
I'm going to give uniqueness to Crystal because, let's face it, she's one of a kind.
I feel like I have given Crystal uniqueness most weeks, but I mean, for this, just for her final runway, I thought that was really lovely.
Yeah, and I'm the same, and it's going to be again for Crystal uniqueness. Yeah.
I would give Nerve to Jackie if I could. I've already given her charisma, damn it. Kurt's giving uniqueness to Gigi's runway. Nerve, oh my god, I've literally thought of absolutely nothing, but I've got to play this damn game. Sherry Pie for like wearing the same outfit, like her entrance for it. I realized this episode, but her entrance outfit is literally the same as her makeover challenge outfit, right? So like that would piss me right off, Chris.
I'm going to give nerve to Jackie because she had a fucking nerve bringing out that wig again for the musical. So there you go.
I'm giving nerve to Jackie as well because despite having no win, she was like, I'm going to win this challenge and beat you all. Fair play to us. Confidence was gold.
I'm going to give my nerve to Jada for holding on, despite feeling a bit rocky earlier in the episode.
And I'm gonna give my nerve to Walter Wonder for doing the lip sync via Zoom.
Very fair.
That's next week or 2 weeks.
He can give it twice. Give it next week as well. It's going to be fair. Kurt's giving it to Jackie for taking off his fucking shoes. Yes, you said it for me. Talent, I'm going to give to Todrick Hall. I thought he really showcased his skills this episode. Chris.
What?
Talent, I'm going to give to Carson Kressley for no explanation.
I'm going to give talent to Gigi's mum because she looked fabulous on the runway.
I'm genuinely at a loss for talent on this one, which shouldn't be hard. Can we come back to me? Is that all right?
Yeah, go on. I'll give talent to Gigi. I think this is now hers to lose, and something has to go horribly wrong for her not to win. But I think she's actually really talented. I mean, yes, her mom does all her fucking looks, but she pulls them off. I mean, come on, she is fucking talented. So I'm just gonna give it to her.
Oh, I like Gigi again. Like after my little tantrum when she was spoiled, she's won me back over the last 2 episodes. I'm if she wins, I'm not going to be unhappy anymore.
Also, like I'm guessing most of the outfit designs are Gigi's. Like, yeah, her mum makes them probably mostly, but I don't think Gigi. So like her reference today was kind of like a same references like Katy Perry video. Like,
I love it. By the way,
like it's.
I never said, but I think that was a shoot, like very very good, and also it was very in the 80s style. Like the hair was very 80s, the whole look, and it was very polished and funny. It was like Miss Cracker elevated. I don't know. It was great.
I wonder if her dad's a dentist.
Full family representation. No, I totally agree, Horatio. So one thing I want to say, Kurt keeps asking about the quiz. I've got no idea. You have to ask Yaz. Message her on Instagram. I'm guessing no, because I think she would have mentioned it by now. Hound her. She enjoys doing it. Sorry?
She said she was planning it last week, but we haven't heard any.
but
But she's busy studying, I think, to be fair.
yeah, she like message her, see what she says. If you hound her, she'd probably do it. She enjoys it and she loves attention too. So just do that. Anyone got any other thoughts specifically about the episode? Horatio, you're muted. Say again.
Can we discuss All Stars at some point?
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll have a
please.
stream about All Stars. Sorry, I've been sleeping so badly this last week or so. I've been knackered. I need to reaction to Canada as well. We need to do a discussion about Canada. It just feels overwhelming. It's just too much going on drag wise at the moment. I'm just like, if I've got to do it, I'll just kill myself with one of the two.
Are we going to pick our winners?
Who
Who we think will win, who we want to win, maybe.
That's a good chat. We should do that, especially before the finale. I honestly think Chris still for both of me personally. We'll go for an order again. So Chris quick. So Chris next. But both of me. I want Chris to win. I think she could win. I think she could like do an Evie Oddly, Sasha Velour. I think she's got the creativity to do something like that and maybe turn it around for the victory. Chris?
I'd love for Crystal to win. I don't think she will. I think Gigi will win, and I'll be fine with that now that she's over her little sport brat phase.
I want Crystal to win, obviously, but I think Jada will win. Actually, I think because I think having too many wins goes against you now in this modern era of season.
I want Crystal to win. I kind of don't mind if if Jada or Gigi win. I kind of feel like I'd be like, it would make sense. It makes sense with my fantasy, and also for my talent. I just realized, like, Kurt's like on the chat about it. I will say that my talent is just like, this is a bit of a vague one, but like the cast for somehow managing to like carry on through what was quite a shit musical. and like not just giving up and walking off set.
I want Rock'em Sakura to win because she's been my favorite all along. So I mean, I don't care who wins, but I think it will be Gigi Good.
Fair. Cool. Oh wait, so Kurt is saying he wants who will win Gigi, he wants Jada to win. I think, and so Kurt's saying so I'd be happy if pretty much any of them won. I feel pretty much the same, to be honest. I'm still not getting. I see more of why Jada's good, but I still don't think she's on the same level as the others personally. But I wouldn't be mad if she won, to be fair. Okay, recommendations for the children. Put your hand up. You've got a recommendation. You go first, Horatio. Then
Right,
Suga.
so I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and now I've started watching it. It's called Twin. It's on BBC. It's with is it Kristen? I can't remember his name. Him from Game of Thrones, big Viking-looking type. It's about it's a Scandi noir. It's basically he plays twin brothers. One of them dies, or I wouldn't say too much, but the other one takes on his identity. It's quite good. It's Scandi noir, and it's very good. Watch it.
I'm on. So I recommend Hollywood. I'm fully enjoying it. It does slow down. The first episode was amazing, but then it goes down and comes back up. But I think it's really good. If you're any form LGBT watcher, it's one of the things you just have to see it so you have a real opinion on it.
Chris, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. All I can recommend is practicing self-love and mindfulness in these tricky times. Take care of yourself, babes. That's all I got to say.
Oh, okay. I think that's a really good one to end on. Does anyone have anyone? Can anyone beat that? Or should we end there? I think that is the perfect place to end. Well done, Chris, and everyone else for being themselves. Not enough to clap. No, stop clapping. No. So I'm sure we'll do something in the week. Either like a discussion about All Stars, a discussion about Drag Race Canada, a Jackbox, a quiz. Like there'll be something sometime soon. So
Jackbox!
Yeah, so we'll do something. So yeah, cheers for watching. Cheers for getting involved, guys who watch live. If you watch later on, continue the conversation in the comments. And subscribe if you fancy it. Could be a good time for all. Yeah, take care. As everything Chris said, but again, and imagine I said it instead. Cool. Okay, love you guys. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
Bye. Take care, everyone.